circuit. The cars turn through with the grid being headed by Victor Martins on pole position, Kai Collett with him at the front of the grid. Row 2 is Gregoire Saucy and then Paul Aron. The third row is where you find William Alatalo and Lorenzo Colombo. Row 4 is David Vidales, and alongside him Franco Colapinto, ahead of Petr Potacek, and then Alex Quinn to round out the top 10. 11th on the grid, Hadrian David, last year's French F4 champion. Hugo de Wilde, a race winner last year. The Belgian driver is alongside him, ahead of Amaury Cordeel, and then Tymon van der Helm, who starts 14th. 15th on the grid is Rashid de Geras and Laszlo Toth, the Hungarian, 16th ahead of newcomer Vicky Piria, GP3 and W Series racer, having her first outings in Formula Renault Eurocup this weekend. Well, yesterday, without interruption, we got 17 laps in. We are ready to go. Marshall at the back will show that green flag to say that everybody is where they need to be, and then we will concentrate on the lights, which will go red. When all the red lights are extinguished, the race will be underway now. Good start made by Kai Collett. Can he get the drag on Victor Martins? No, again, he just bogs down. He was good off the line. Hadrian David goes onto the grass to get round the outside of people. Big lock up there. Going down towards turn 1. That, I fear, was Colombo as the cars swing their way into the braking zone. But Victor Martins has got away, and Kai Collett down to 4th place. So again, he was good off the line, but then as he went up through the gears, just couldn't get the traction down, it seemed, and it's cost him ground as the cars come now through the arena for the first time. Second is Aron, third is Gregoire Saucy, who was the one locking up. Fourth, there you can see, is Collett, and he's trying to force the issue here. Fifth is Colombo as they come towards us. In 6th place at the moment is Franco Colapinto in the orange car, but right now Victor Martins is exactly where he wants to be, where he needs to be. He leads the way and he's trying to build that gap. The ART car leads the field down towards turn 8 for the first time, and Victor Martins benefiting from not only a good start, but a bad start from Collett from the other side of the front row of the grid, and Collett down in 4th place with work to do as they come into turn 8 for the first time. Climb the hill. Tymon van der Helm there in the multicoloured FA Racing, Fernando Alonso Racing car, tries to get himself back up the order as Kai Collett skips over the curb through the Schumacher S. Dust kicked into the air, gravel flicked at others. There you can see number 32, which is David Vidales, coming under attack. He's made a bad start and dropped back, in fact, from 7th on the grid. Hadrian David right up behind him. So the cars head down towards the Ad Van Bogen for the first time. And as they do so, is there going to be an opportunity for any shuffling of the order under braking for the chicane? Remember, you're hard on the brakes from over 200 kilometres an hour down to 100. Flick the cars through that left and that right. There is David, number 17, challenging Vidales, but he can't find a way by. Potacek, number 3, turns through. Potacek, another driver that's not really been able to make much progress on the opening lap. If anything, he might have lost and just come by. End of lap 1. Martins leads by what sort of a margin? 1.3 seconds already. Second is Aron, third is Saucy, 4th is Collett, 5th is Colombo, 6th is Colapinto. Then it's 7th here. Vidales ahead of David, ahead of Quinn. Vidales in the yellow and black car to the outside line. Quinn tries to go around the outside of him, and is it going to work? Well, Hadrian David gets up the inside of Vidales and goes through, so that puts him 7th. Alex Quinn challenges as well, conscious that he's got Petr Potacek right up behind him. Quinn to the inside of Vidales, who closes the door, just hangs onto the place. Together they turn, accelerate now up to the run into the turn 5-6 sequence, this drop downhill. Ball pre-circuit here, maybe a lot shorter than the Nordschleife, but it's still got plenty of undulation. This is the really steep drop down towards turn 8, which is all well and good, except you've got the steep climb on the other side, so lose momentum at turn 8, and it really compromises the exit speed up the hill. Challenge on the inside there, Cordeel against Potacek, wheel to wheel they run. Amaury Cordeel in the silver car tries to get up on the inside, but he can't make that stick. The FA Racing entry close on the back of Potacek, but the Czech driver hangs on to position as they come now up through the Schumacher S. If there was an element of self-preservation going on in yesterday's race, today the driver's getting much more terry about life. Tymon van der Helm there going through at the back of the shot, down in 13th place, but as the race leaders now work lap 2 with 26.5 minutes plus a lap still to run, getting away just like yesterday. Here is Victor Martins. Brakes for the chicane, flicks into the left and the right, then back onto the power and up towards the end of lap 2. So the leader has just gone over the timing line. And with Paul Aron then in second place ahead of Gregoire Saucy now, what progress can he make against the leader? Well, for the moment the gap is widening, in fact 2 seconds, because Martins does the fastest lap of the race. Aron is second, and there's an incident involving, let us see, 73, which is the car of Tijmen van der Helm, and number 21, which is the ardent entry of Rached de Geras, and that's going to be looked at after the race. It was at turn 1, and it's going to be looked at post-race, so the stewards will look and see if there's anything that needs to be addressed post-event. Martins leads the way, there he is, Aron in second place, and then third Gregoire Saucy, so it's an ART 1-2-3 at the moment. ART dominated in terms of the overall winner yesterday, but a lockout of the top 3 would be a great result, especially against the R-Ace GP team, the other crack French junior squad. So Caio Collet going better today than yesterday, but again, not being able to translate that qualifying pace from a rather scrappy start. It looked like he got off the line well, but then, again, just seemed to bog down as he went up through the gears, and so lost a couple of places to the quick-starting ART cars. Hadrian David flicks through the Schumacher S then on this lap 3. Yesterday we got 17 laps in through the event without any interruption from safety cars, and Victor Martins, look, has just disappeared up the road already, well clear of anybody else. Up the curb, quite wide there, Lorenzo Colombo in the black and white Bitec livery. Bit of a twitch from 71 Amaury Cordial's silver FA racing car, as well, as he now powers down the hill. But as far as the leader is concerned, there's just no stopping Gregoire Saucy at the moment. No stopping Victor Martins at the moment. Gregoire Saucy in third place, chasing after Aron. That gap's 0.7 of a second, but not able to get onto his tail. What can Hadrian David do next as well? Because having got himself up into 7th place, Franco Colapinto is his next target. There does seem to be a little bit more urgency in the way that people are racing today. Yesterday's race settled down quite early on, but today there's a little bit more, seemingly. Perhaps it's because it's the second race of the weekend and there's more repair time, but the driver's getting on with the job. That said, the next race is only a week away at Manicourt. There's lots of testing in between, so they don't want too much damage. Of course, not only is damage going to jeopardise your chances of an effective test session, it's going to cost you points in this race anyway, but there does seem to be a little bit more energy in the way people are racing. Martins, though, has just gone, hasn't he? He's done a 1:55.9 as the fastest lap of the race. Paul Aron in second place, Gregoire Saucy in third. Where's the shuffle going to come, if at all? Hadrian David's pace is good, and he's closing on Colapinto, so 6th and 7th potentially is where you might find something in a couple of 3 laps' time. But Victor Martins then down through the right-hander at the foot of the hill, out of turn 8. All of these cars run on Hankook tyres, and Victor Martins, the man that leads the way, the Frenchman, former gymnastics champion. He was an under-10s French gymnastics champion. Then he turned his attention to karting, was picked up by the French Motorsport Federation, and won world championships before coming into cars. Was successful in the French Formula 4 championship, moved to Formula Renault in 2018, had a couple of wins last year, 6 wins in this generation of car, and was the runner-up in the championship. So really he can only win the title this year in order to continue that career progression. So being 6th at the start of the weekend, not good news at all. But not only is he now 2nd in this race, he's outscoring the championship leader Caio Collet. He was one of the Renault Sport Academy drivers, Victor, as Collet remains, but he was taken off that programme over the winter months. So Victor, very keen indeed to not just win the championship, but prove the Renault Sport management wrong, that he would have been a better bet to stick with. Martins leads then over the line, 2.7 seconds ahead of Aron. Caio Collet then running in 4th, chasing Gregoire Saucy. There he is. And Caio Collet, remember, another driver that was in this championship last year. So he's somebody else that has the experience of the car. Collet was the best rookie last year, 5th in the championship, 6 times a podium finisher. So he's got a good track record, that's for certain, as he comes through the left-hander at turn 3. But right now, stuck in 4th. 6th yesterday, 4th today. That's giving away points to the hard-charging Victor Martins. Petr Pacacek is the last man scoring points at the moment. Tijmen van der Helm has gained a place off Vicky Piria, and we've got 2 in the pits, incidentally. One of whom is Rached de Geras, the other is William Alatallo, which is rather more significant because Alatallo has been a 3rd and a 2nd placed finisher in previous rounds. So for him to be in the pits at the end of the opening lap is bad news. So there was a tangle somewhere, one fears, and it's done for Alatallo into the pit lane. Leaders through turn 8 now. There, 27 is Hugo de Wilde. Race winner last year in the opening race at Monza, but never replicated that pace again. And here, again, he's just not quick enough, is he? Down in 12th place, didn't qualify brilliantly. So much of the hard work of the weekend has to be in that short 20-minute qualifying period. Gregoire Saucy there, trying to fend off the challenge. Not Gregoire Saucy, forgive me, Amaury Cordial trying to fend off the challenge of Hugo de Wilde. And there is Richard de Geras in the pits, the Aron car. By the look of it, going no further. Car empty. Tatuus engineers have a look as up to the line comes Victor Martins, getting away all the time from Paul Aron in second place. In the background, fourth is Kyle Collett. Now, is he doing anything about Saucy for third? Let's see. Another fastest lap just done by Martins, a 55. If he just sits behind him, it will make his car less easy to drive, slower, work the tyres a bit harder, and compromise his speed and his pace. In turn, that will bring Lorenzo Colombo into the mix as well. He's running fifth as the cars head down the hill once again. 6 seconds now the advantage over Paul Aron, but this battle pack second, third, fourth and fifth, in fairness, only really covered by a couple of seconds, just under. So although Martins is driving away with this race, things can change in second and third and fourth and fifth. Collett is the man really pushing, and he needs to push. On the one hand, he knows about banking points and the necessity, but he'll also know that he needs to be doing better than fourth if Martins is away clear in the lead of the race. So what, if anything, can he do here as the cars once again sprint into the left-hander? Turn 5. Colombo in turn is well clear of Franco Colapinto, isn't he, in 6th position now. Up the curve, down the hill, and there at the bottom of the hill into turn 8 is Martins, clear over everybody else. Paul Aron running in second spot. Now what's going on lower down the order? Hadrian David there is 7th, Vidales 8th, Quinn is 9th, and Potacek 10th, the last of those scoring points. So there, Amaury Cordial going after the Czech driver, wanting the last point in the race if he can possibly get it, and he's got to try to make up 7/10 of a second before he's close enough to be able to attack. Race leaders then on lap 7 here at the Nurburgring. Victor Martins dominant up front, just as he looked yesterday. Paul Aron, it is in second place, 3.6 seconds being the margin between those two drivers. Gregoire Saucy is third, Kyle Collett fourth. There he is looking the yellow car at the back of this group, just ahead of Lorenzo Colombo. But Collett, even though he's close, not yet able to do anything about the traffic ahead of him. There's the leader, over the line comes Martins. That is 7 laps done. Getting closer to the halfway mark of the race. In second place is Aron, in third place is Saucy, in fourth place it's Collett, fifth is Colombo, gap back to Colapinto, gap back to David, gap back to another group headed by David Vidales. Then it's Alex Quinn 9th, Petra Potacek in 10th place. 71 still outside the points. Amaury Cordial doing his level best to try to get in there if he can. Race leader Victor Martins then down to turn 5. And right now, barring a mistake, looks as though this is going to be a second win of the season for him, second win of the weekend. Last year here, he had to give up any opportunity in the second race because the car failed him on the formation lap. But right now, looks as though it's going to be a dominant double for the French driver. And the championship situation post-weekend is going to be very interesting indeed to see where this puts him in relation to Kyle Collett. Petra Potacek there, still running 10th, the last of those scoring points as he climbs uphill through flicks there. Franco Colapinto. Lorenzo Colombo powering his way downhill, but again he's in this similar situation to many, trying to get close but not able to really get near enough to make a proper move for position. Martins out of the chicane. Looks so slow, doesn't it? But it's a really tight and slow chicane, so heavy braking, turn through the left, turn through the right, then you can get back on the power and sprint up towards turn 16. through that right-hander, over the timing line once again. So Martins leads. He's done the fastest lap of the race, but not on that lap. But what is happening further back, look, is that Collett now is getting nearer to the tail of Gregoire Saucy for third place. That gap has come down to 0.4 of a second. So does Collett have a chance? The gap is virtually nothing between them as they head into turn one. On that last lap, ironically, Saucy did an absolute best in the first sector, but even that wasn't good enough to keep him much further ahead of Collett as they go out of the arena now. David Vidales still keeping at bay Alex Quinn. They are 8th and 9th, therefore, as they make the run around the Mercedes arena once again. This is turn 3, and Alex Quinn trying to get in on the act as well. Pedro Patacek in 10th spot. The two retirements that we've had, Rasha De Geras and William Alatalo. That means there are 15 still circulating. There is Cordeil in 11th place, still so frustrated that he just can't do anything about Patacek for a place in the points. Everybody, of course, with the same base car, same car, tyre, engine combination. It's your ability as a driver, the team's ability, and of course how well you work with that team to get the best out of the package. Some teams have demon setups for certain circuits. JD seem to have the perfect Imola setup, but not for the Nurburgring necessarily. It's gone back the way of the established teams, ART and our Ace GP. So the race leader currently, Victor Martins, works lap 9. Into the second half of the race now as he comes into turn 16 once more. And there's just nothing, it seems now, that Paul Aron can do about it. The gap is a mighty one, and it is not for coming down, is it? So Martins, barring any problems, dominates up front. Aron in second place, Saucy in third, fourth Collett, fifth Colombo, sixth Colapinto. They're second all the way back to fifth as they come now down to the first right at turn 1. Last time around, Martins, just to keep himself alert, did another best lap with 3 purple sectors. The absolute perfect lap time, Victor Martins. 3 absolute bests. 1:55.322 is the new fastest lap of the race as he continues to build the advantage over everybody else. Yesterday's fastest lap was a 55.330, so he's gone quicker than that. Just to underline how good he is, although in fairness, yesterday's race was a mid-afternoon race, whereas now we're early morning. It's 20 to 11 local time, so it's a cooler day, helping the engines to work better. Leaders then up through turn 8, lap 10 we're on, 17 the expectation. Collett runs the curb. Kyle Collett, then the Brazilian driver, last year having been 5th in this championship. He took a win in the winter in the Toyota Racing Series as well, the New Zealand-based single-seater championship. Quite a lot of the drivers finding winter activity, whether it's the TRS, whether it was the Asian F3 Championship or the MRF Challenge in India, which was another series to keep people active and alert. Little did we all know how much of a break we'd get after that. The leaders then out of the chicane. So Victor Martins leading by 4 seconds. Is he going to be able to get an even bigger margin by the end than 5 seconds, which I think is certainly doable. Yesterday he won by only 3, but right now he's already 4 seconds clear. Let's see what the margin is as Aron goes across the line, 4.6. So on that lap, manages to go half a second quicker than the opposition on 1 lap alone. So it's no wonder that the rest are feeling a bit demoralised this weekend. Victor Martins just being irresistible in his pace. So the car's out of turn 1 through the arena, but there is the leader at turn 5. Such is his prodigious pace in this race. Victor Martins then with 10 minutes plus a lap on the clock still to go. Martins makes that run down the hill. Paul Aron in second place. A good effort in a way, this, because he's gained a couple of places from where he qualified. Saucy qualified third. Collett, of course, has dropped back. Hadrian David has gained 4 spots from where he qualified, and the real loser, I suppose, William Alatallo, who is out of the race, having qualified 5th. So real disappointment for the quick rookie Finn. But Victor Martins, on the one hand, showing how it should be done. On the other hand, it's expected of him, given that he was the runner-up in the championship last year. And as I say, for career progression, he does need to win the title this season. That will be in his mind as well. So he comes up the hill, heading to the chicane for the 11th time. Flicks into the left, into the right, having just dominated the race weekend thus far. Out of turn 16, heads towards the timing line, will break the beam now and put another lap in the book with 8 3/4 minutes just under to go. Heads into turn 1 then. At the end of the timed element of the race, you get the regulation lap put on. It's there just in case you should ever get to a situation where it is marginal that the clock will hit 0 as the leading car heads towards the flag, and should the checkered flag be out or not. So you let the time go and then give them a lap, come what may. So it stops the race being either not finished on time or finished too early. It also adds to the track time available for the drivers. They have 4 collective tests, as they're known, in the race week. They get 3 practice sessions before the 2 single qualifying sessions. It's 1 qualifying session for each race, standalone sessions, and then these long races. So for the track time you get, Formula Renault Eurocup is a very attractive proposition indeed. And of course, the circuits it goes to, many are current Grand Prix circuits. So you're learning about the venues that you will race at when you hopefully get to Formula 1 in the future. Next stop is Manicourt, and then the reprofile Zandvoort circuit comes after that. So as the leaders work lap 12, the second and third ART cars getting away from the RAce GP and Bitec cars of Collett and Colombo, because 4th and 5th are dropping back a little bit now. It looks as though a couple of laps ago Collett was closing on Gregoire Saucy. Now the margin between them has doubled, so he's fallen away once more. There is the leader climbing up the hill, and behind is the group involving Aron, Saucy, Collett and Colombo. Franco Colapinto is rather in no man's land in 6th place on his own. Nobody to race against. Look, because there's nobody ahead, nobody behind him. He's completely self-isolated there. Into turn 16 goes the Argentine driver. 7th is Hadrian David. There's a battle on for 8th, though, because David Vidales has got Alex Quinn tucked up behind him. Onto the pit straight they now run. On 32, David Vidales, double winner at Imola. Certainly was mighty impressive that weekend. He was admittedly 3rd yesterday, but from a less good qualifying position for this race, finding life a little bit tougher. It's another new circuit, of course, for him. They all are new circuits, but maybe this has taken a bit more learning, irrespective, of course, of the amount of testing they've had during the week. ADAC Championship, and he was 7th in that, so he knows this circuit, does Paul Aron, and he is a member of the Mercedes F1 development programme, moving into Formula Renault Eurocup this year. First season in these single-seaters, more powerful, of course, than the Abarth-engined F4 chassis that's used in Italy and Germany. So the leaders across the line. Martins then puts now 13 laps in the book, and the margin is, what, 6 seconds yet? Let's see. Wait for the timing screen to update. Yes, just 6.001 seconds. So 6 1/1000th of a second is the margin. There for 4th place, suddenly Lorenzo Colombo is on the attack, having a go to try and unsettle Kyle Collett down at turn 1. Didn't work for him, but not for the want of trying, as the cars now flick once more through the arena out of turn 2. Hard on the brakes, but it's very easy to get this section wrong, because it's just one long loop. Get the power down at the wrong place, the car washes out wide, pushes towards the outside of the road. Turn 4 there is where you've got to be careful with track limits as well. And the leaders then accelerate into turn 5, but the leader, Victor Martins, doubling his winning margin of yesterday, seemingly, because he's 6 seconds clear now, and we're not done yet. 4 minutes of the race still to go as they drop downhill again. So Martins, Aron, Saucy, Collet, Colombo, Colapinto is the top 6. Still Petra Potacek, the last driver to be scoring points in the race. So you've got second and third, Paul Aron and Gregoire Saucy. Last time around, Saucy was fractionally faster, but is he going to be able to do anything realistically about his teammate? Kyle Collett fourth, too far back, I think, now to challenge, as there is Victor Martins, who really has been the standout driver this weekend. If it was Vidales at Imola, undoubtedly it is Martins here, because there's just been no stopping him across qualifying all the races. And with everybody having the same machinery, I mean, even his two teammates are over 6 seconds back. It's underlined just how good Martins is this weekend. Gregoire Saucy in third place did do a little bit of Formula Renault Eurocup last year. Had a couple of wild card weekends, as it were, but was another from the Italian and German F4 championships last year. Finished 9th in the ADAC championship, did Saucy, but he's third here, on target for his best result of the year. Same is true, actually, of Paul Aron, looking as though he's going to get his best of the season too. So a 1-2-3 on the cards for ART. The race leaders on lap 15. 17 is the prediction given what we had yesterday, but Martins' pace looks even better, so how's that going to affect things? On the last lap, by the way, he did an absolute best in the middle sector, and Martins set another new fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 55.143. So even at this late stage, he's still got the car and he's still got the tyres under him to be able to generate absolute top lap times. Treating like qualifying almost, to keep himself fresh, keep himself alert. So the race leaders once again work up the hill. There through his 91, riding the curbs. So Paul Aron flicks his way through that left-right sequence. For Vitek, Lorenzo Colombo again a bit frustrated, because after yesterday's second place, not able to find the same performance in this race. But of course the way that the qualifying works is that it's the first session for the second race. So in other words, the grid that we've had for this was decided in the first qualifying period, and it was the second session that gave us the first race grid. So it doesn't necessarily follow that you're going to have the same pattern across the weekend from qualifying and racing, because of the way the timetable and the regulations work, just to see if there's anything that teams find from one session to another that will therefore affect grids and therefore affect pace. But right now, the one thing that has been unaffected is the pace of Victor Martins. That is now 15 laps done. The clock will hit 0 on this lap, and then there'll be one more. So it will be another 17-lap race, as there Franco Colapinto goes down into turn 1, into the arena. As ever, that's been the scene of drama in a number of the categories here this weekend. But actually, Formula Renault has been remarkably well behaved. We've had maybe a little bit of wheel banging, but in this race, again, despite the fact it all looked quite leery to begin with a bit more commitment being put in by drivers, we've not had damaged cars, we've not had people off the road, and it's all been remarkably well behaved from these young drivers, possibly realising the need to keep the car intact with the next race under a week away. Also perhaps being respectful of the challenge of the Nurburgring. Look at the clock, it's about to hit 0 now. So it'll be one lap at the end of this, as the car's down at turn 8, locking up. The Saucy comes then under attack, does he, from Kyle Collett. Kyle was a little bit too far back to really think about a challenge there, and he might be able to close, but by the time he's closed, so Saucy will have regrouped, and there's not a lot he can do about that. There is number 93. Gregoire Saucy recovering after that lock-up, but the race leader, Victor Martins, is set to come across the line and start the last lap. Incidentally, William Alatallo has gone back out again. So I think what they've done is now start the testing for next week. So they've sent him back out to see if the JD motorsport car is okay. Now, Martin starts the last lap. Second, some way back, Paul Aron starting the last lap. The gap between the top two is 8.4 seconds. In third is Saucy, fourth is Collet, fifth is Colombo, sixth is Colapinto, and there is the man of the weekend. Victor Martins is on target for win number 2. He turns his way now up through the arena, out of turn 2 to 3, the left at 3, then the right at 4. It translates all the way through that switchback sequence of corners. So easy to find yourself on the wrong line there, compromise the run all the way through that section. But as you look at the battle pack for second all the way down to 5th, miles out in front seemingly now is Victor Martins. It's just been a crushing display all weekend from him. Through they turn for the last time, ready to drop down the hill now. And it is Victor Martins then with this 8.5 second give or take advantage over Paul Aron. There for 5th is Lorenzo Colombo. But as the cars head up the hill for the last time, there's little that Colombo can do. 6/10 back from Colin, even though on this last lap he's just done a personal best in terms of a first sector time, but it's just not going to bring him near enough, is it, as Kyle Collett looking for this now 25th consecutive point scoring finish, a record extended yet further, heads to the chicane. But Victor Martins is already at the chicane. He is set to be the race winner, turns his way into and now out of the chicane, rides the curb on the outside line. But a great effort being put in by Victor Martins this weekend. He's on target for win number 2 of the weekend, win number 2 of the season. And as he comes up towards the line, Victor Martins wins in Formula Renault Eurocup here at the Nurburgring. A great drive to round out a great weekend, utterly dominant. Paul Aron only now takes second place ahead of Gregoire Saucy in third, 9 seconds being the winning margin at flag fall. Fourth goes to Kyle Collett, and all of a sudden people have woken up at the back of the field, look, because Patacek has just lost a place to Cordeal. So on the last lap, the last point changes and it goes the way of Cordeal, and Patacek is about to be outdragged almost on the line by Hugo de Wilde. Patacek was just ahead, but only just, because it was 31 thousandths of a second the margin between them. So I suspect it was an error made at the chicane, but it was enough to bring Amaury Cordeal into the points on that last lap, as the cars then are waved off at the arena into the paddock rather than doing a full formation lap to save time within that timetable here at the Nürburgring. So he's done it again. It is a race win for Victor Martins and a race win in style. Victor Martins wins the 6th race of Formula Renault Eurocup this season. Paul Aron comes home to take second. Gregoire Saucy's best result, as it is for Aron, nets third. And that's a 1-2-3 for the ART Grand Prix squad. Kyle Collett, 4th ahead of Lorenzo Colombo and Franco Colapinto. Adrian David 7th from David Vidales, Alex Quinn. And then on the last lap, Amaury Cordeal steals the last point. 11th, Petr Patacek ahead of Hugo de Wilde. Then Tymon van der Helm and Laszlo Toth, with Vicky Piria 15th. William Alatallo doing only 3 laps after dramas early on, but he did circulate towards the end, but he won't be classified, nor will the retirement Rached Dujeras. So they're the drivers in the Renault Parc Fermé area, clamber out of the cars, and will make their way to that presentation area very shortly at the end of what has been another great weekend for Formula Renault Eurocup teams, and in particular for the race winning Victor Martins. Just absolutely unstoppable across the course of that race. So 2 poles, 2 wins, 2 fastest laps, nobody being able to get anywhere near him by way of opposition. So the next stop will be Magny-Cours in a week's time. Is that going to be another Victor Martins benefit? Or is it going to be another different winner, which you'll find out? So here at the Nürburgring then, the teams, I think, probably quite relieved that they managed to get through a weekend without mega damage. Replay of the best bits of the second race, and again, Collett getting bogged down off the line. So it looked good enough to begin with, but then just not being able to convert that into pace, and he was 4th by the time the cars got into turn 1. Tried to fight back on the inside of Saucy. Almost made it work coming out of turn 4. Saucy using all of the road on the outside line, and he stayed ahead. Battles further down the order as well, as Hadrien David was working his way through the pack. Off the road had gone, however, Rached de Geras. He got going again, but only as far as the pit lane, as Amaury Cordil had a go on the inside to get past Pepe Pogačar. Couldn't do it. Only on the last lap was he able to find a way by. William Anatalo into the pit lane, and it was a long pit stop as they tried to work out what the drama was. Eventually he was sent back out for an exploratory lap, ready for, if you like, a glorified test session. David Vidales was rather busy trying to fend off the challenge from Alex Quinn behind him. In the end, Vidales on target for 8th place as Kyle Collett ran wide out of the chicane, rattled up the curb. But it was a win for a very happy Victor Martins. Absolutely dominant in the race here this weekend. Behind him, it was 2nd place Paul Aron, 3rd for Gregoire Saucy in what has been a very dominant weekend as far as the ART Grand Prix team is concerned. So let's hear from our race winner, Victor Martins. He is with Gemma Scott.
Victor, for you, this has been an absolutely perfect weekend. That's a double win, twice on pole, twice fastest lap.
Yeah, just incredible weekend for us. Even for the team 1 to 3, first time for the team we do that. So no, that's just amazing. We work so well together, and we deliver a great car on the track. And yeah, for myself, I just have to maximize everything, and it's what we did this weekend.
You're absolutely proving that you are a driver to watch out for.
Yeah. And yeah, for sure. We will just keep going like this, keep working hard, and I think we will keep going, yeah, on the podium.
Félicitations.
Thank you.
There he is, 2nd place, Paul Aron. And the race winner, about to make his way up onto the top of the podium, is Victor Martins, after this superb weekend that he's enjoyed. So we have the Renault Sport trophies. There's also the Hankook trophy. Paul Aron, if you're wondering why he gets 2, it's because he was the winning rookie. And then we will have the team's trophy as well to be presented for the ART Grand Prix squad. So very happy French team, very happy French driver. Victor Martins celebrates a 2nd victory of the weekend and brings himself, as I say, into the mix as far as the championship is concerned. So now the drivers with their trophies will raise them for the photographs.